Ah, good morning. How are you? I hope you're well. Good to see a few brave souls out there in Cyberland. So welcome to Friday Drop-In Meditation. Thanks for dropping in. So we'll do our normal, I'm Alan, in case you're a new viewer. So what we normally do is in the hour, first 20 minutes or so, we do mindfulness meditation, basically using breathing as the main object. And then the second half, we do a analytical meditation on a particular topic, a guided meditation. So that's the plan. And usually I begin with a quote from one of the great teachers, and it is Alan Marsh today, in his book called When the Chocolate Runs Out. So he's talking actually about meditation. He's got a very interesting explanation of what meditation is. So he says, Buddhism places prime importance on personal experimentation, putting Dharma methods into action and assessing the effect they have on our minds. Do these methods help? Has your mind changed? Or is it just uncontrolled as it ever was? So Buddhism works by giving you ideas that you can check out in your own experience to see if they're true. And this method of checking the mind is called meditation. So I was just thinking, if there's idea of saying compassionate mind is a happy mind, you can check that out. Or teachings on how things exist, the emptiness teachings, again, we can try them and check them out. So just continuing on from Alan Marsh, the Buddha himself said, belief is not important. Don't believe what I say just because I said it. These were basically his dying words, quote, I have taught many different methods because there are many different individuals. Before you embrace them, use your wisdom to check if they fit your psychological makeup, your own mind. If my methods seem to make sense and they work for you, by all means adopt them. But if you don't relate to them, even though they might sound wonderful, just leave them be. They were taught for somebody else. Very profound. So this is what the Dalai Lama has said. Listen to what I say. If it makes sense, adopt it. If it doesn't, discard it. So this is basically saying that Buddhism may not be right for everybody. Maybe other spiritual traditions are better for some individuals. So Buddhism's always been very non-evangelical. It's up to each individual to test and see whether it's good for them or not. So then the last bit of advice for them or not. So then the last bit of advice from Alan Marsh, one of the hallmarks of Buddhism is that you can't say to everybody, you should do this, everybody should be like that. It depends on the individual. Don't think that the Buddha taught only one thing. Buddhism contains thousands upon thousands of methods of meditation, all given in order to suit the varying propensities and dispositions of the infinite individual living beings, infinite in number. Okay, so everybody's mind is different, so everybody needs a slightly different approach. And so this is where a good teacher can help, because the good teacher can see what the needs of the individual are and just guide them as to what the best practices are. So this is where the guru or the spiritual friend comes in. So that's good to keep in mind. So we'll do our mindfulness practice using the breath. We'll probably keep it very simple today. We'll just probably stick to the breath for the whole session. Just a few reminders about just the obstacles, which we've just done recently in our DB module, How to Meditate. So remember the two main ones are too many distractions. That's the busy mind, where we just find it too difficult, very difficult to focus on one thing. So a few suggested remedies. If the eyes are open, close them, or gently half close them. If the room is very bright, to just make the room slightly darker. The other thing is, if we're doing breath meditation and we're using the nostrils as the point of focus for the breath, lower the focus down to the abdomen. This is said to be quite a good way of getting the mind out of the head and down into the body. Can be very effective. Another one is to just see the thoughts as passing clouds in the sky, things that are not substantial. They will be there, but we won't take notice of them. They'll be passing through the mind. That's okay, but we're not going to follow them. We'll just stick to the object of the practice, which is the breathing. So that's for there's many other remedies for distracted mind. The ultimate is to have a break and then come back later, go for a walk. Then dullness can be, one of the remedies is to open the eyes if the mind's closed, to brighten the room if this room is rather dim, dullness being a tendency to sleep, lazy being a tendency to sleep, lazy dullness and drowsiness. Maybe make the room a little bit cooler if it's too warm. And another one is to think of the benefits of calm abiding. So this is going into a little bit of the teachings where we see how useful calm abiding is, how useful it is to settle the mind, how worthwhile it is to be able to place the mind on an object and leave it there for some time. So that's another possible. Another very obvious remedy is to straighten the back and just check the posture. Okay, so these are just some some obstacles and some remedies. There are more. All right, so we'll start the practice. I think we'll do the 9-round breathing to start off with. Remember that this is said to be very good to start any session, any meditation session. The simple practice is where we breathe in through the right nostril and out through the left 3 times, in through the left, out through the right 3 times, and in through both nostrils and out through both nostrils 3 times. So the option is to use the index finger of the left hand to block the nostril we're not using, or to just visualize that the nostril's being blocked. So that's an option. Another option is to visualize beautiful, clean, white light going in with the in-breath, which is all the positive energy of the universe, and black smoke going out with the out-breath. That's all our obstacles to our practice, to our good health, going out beyond space. The white light with the in-breath, black smoke with the out-breath. So that's just an option. You can keep it simple and just focus on the breath. Okay, so let's just start. Getting comfortable. Okay, we'll begin with the 9-round breathing to clear all the obstacles to our practice. Starting with the right nostril, 3 times in through the right and out through the left. And 3 times in through the left, out through the right. And then 3 times in through both nostrils, out through both nostrils. And then back to normal breathing. And now coming into our inner world, starting with our motivation, starting with just a few moments appreciating how fortunate we are to just do some practice together, to take care of our mind, to develop some peace in the mind. Cultivate the mind. We're doing our practice not just for our own benefit, but a peaceful mind will bring peace to those around us. And ultimately be in benefit to all other beings as we cultivate mindfulness in our spiritual practice. Now we come into the body, bringing the mind into the body, checking our physical posture. Is our back reasonably straight? Whether we're sitting or lying. Is our weight evenly balanced on the surface? Are our shoulders relaxed? Our head and neck comfortably placed? Checking the eyes and the face muscles and softening them. Feeling a weight of our body being gently pulled into the earth by gravity. Surrendering ourselves to gravity, to the earth, letting go. Feel it with each out breath, we're actually letting go. Dropping all the physical tension of the body. Breathing out all the mental obstacles, the busyness, the distractions. With each out breath, we're relaxing more deeply. Nothing to hold on to. And now just focusing on the whole of the breath, the movement of the body with each in and out breath. Very simple movement. It's always there, as long as we're alive. And now we're noticing. Just stepping aside and watching. Nothing to control, just observing how the breath enters the body and leaves the body. Focusing wherever it's comfortable, the nostrils, the gentle rising and falling of the abdomen, or just the movement of the whole body with each breath. Bringing our mind home to the breath, gently resting on that breath, one breath at a time. Remembering to be alert, keeping a small part of our attention to guarding the mind, checking, have we lost the breath, or are we still there on it? If the mind knows it's being watched, it will normally just stay on the breath. If it doesn't, it's okay. We observe that distraction. We found it. We've noticed. Be glad. Now we let go. Let that distraction go and return to the breath. Patiently, repeatedly. Staying with the breath. Maybe there are thoughts entering the mind, leaving the mind. That's okay. Like a bird flying high in the sky, these thoughts don't leave a trace. The sky is still clean clear. The mind is still clean clear. As the mind quietens by resting on the breath, noticing whether the breath is long, whether it's short, even, uneven. So it's all just correct breath, perfect breath. No right and wrong breath. Staying with the breath, effortless resting on the breath. So just relax and have a stretch, refreshment. So the next practice is on rejoicing, which we actually did recently in our Discovering Buddhism class, which is the topic is being how to meditate. It'd be good to do it after I just read, I think it was yesterday or the day before, one of Rinpoche's teachings that he's giving from Kopan during the lockdown, available on YouTube or in transcribed form. So he covers so many different topics in his teachings. He was talking about rejoicing. I think it was a couple of days ago. And he gave the example of stretched limousines. With rejoicing, one of the things we do is to admire and rejoice when we see people having success. So not just success in their Dharma. So he said these are huge cars. They don't have showers or kitchens, but they possibly have toilets. And he says, think, this is when you see this, he says, think how wonderful it is that these people, how wonderful that they've achieved happiness. What they want is the car, and they have the car. How wonderful it is that they have this happiness. So he says, sentient beings have happiness. Even though in other teachings we might be told that sensory pleasures, great wealth, or can't actually bring us happiness. But in this case, we're concerned with our own mind, our own attitude. So we're using the situation to, what he says, soften the mind. You're feeling so happy. Just a few quotes from his teachings. Then if somebody has a beautiful apartment, beautiful swimming pools, all the nice things, think how wonderful it is, how wonderful this sentient being has happiness that they want, this beautiful house they've got, how wonderful it is they've got this happiness, how wonderful. So you feel happiness. Emotionally, your mind doesn't become a rock. It doesn't become hard. Your mind, it's like cotton, very soft, you are happy. Then you are not so happy if your mind is like a rock. So if we hear somebody has a boyfriend or girlfriend, you don't feel dark. The face you don't show dark. There's no boo-hoo. A dark face, very squeezed. You can smile, you can walk smiling, you can go happily. It makes so many people happy when you smile. So like that. So then he just goes even further. He says, even if you go outside, when we're allowed to go outside, go into the city, and we can see all these people maybe having food in restaurants. So constantly you can make your mind happy. Going around the city, just go to the beach and rejoice. Practice rejoicing. This helps to open the mind. The mind open, we're shiny and smiling. You don't have to spend $1 million to learn. She said, you don't have to spend $1 million. All you have to do is just think something. Think how great that those people are enjoying themselves. So this good karma goes from life to life, he says. Not just this life, but from life to life. So in the practice, that's part of the practice of rejoicing, is rejoicing in people's mundane happiness, success, good success in work, finances, relationships, and so on. And this is very good to counter jealousy. It's jealousy that Rinpoche is talking about, the rock mind. So this is part of the practice, is just stay with. Then we can also include the enemies, which is more difficult. Remember, rejoicing is covering all beings, all sentient beings, and strangers. So these opportunities come up all the time when we read about maybe very successful business people who we might otherwise not be very interested in, being successful in their business, or could be in their career. So you think of all these celebrities and so on. So instead of just being too analytical, how did they get their wealth? Maybe they're egotistical, ambitious. Rinpoche sort of spend some time appreciating their incredible work, good work, rejoicing in that they are collecting incredible. They're helping humanity and they're collecting amazing good merit. Then we go to the spiritual beings, our teachers, Sangha, those who devote their life to practice, particularly all the great beings that have brought Buddhist tradition to us today, from Buddha Shakyamuni 2,500 years ago. A little bit of time on our own good fortune to make sure that we're not doing the rejoicing from a feeling of deprivation, that we've got nothing and they've got everything. So let's start with that. Okay, so coming in to our calm mind, just coming into the breath for a few moments. Feeling the quietness of our inner mind. Starting now our practice of rejoicing by beginning with our own situation, reminding ourselves that we have obtained this incredible good fortune to have a human body, a human brain. We're reasonably healthy. We're in a place that is peaceful, where we have all our basic needs met: food, shelter, clothing. And we have also our freedom to practice whatever we like, spiritual practice, how we spend our time. We have some free time. We don't have to spend our entire life working like so many sentient beings. And we have an interest in spiritual practice, in developing our minds, finding peace. We have the seeds of compassion, patience, wisdom, generosity. I'm sure we're in a very a good place. There's nothing more we need. access to the Dharma, access to centres and teachings. How wonderful. Spending a few moments rejoicing on our own good fortune. Our perfect situation. There's nothing we need. The thought of no need in our minds. So now we come to look at other beings, good fortune, those who are experiencing good fortune. These are starting with our friends, those we know who have success at work, financially, relationships, family. You can think of specific people, specific good fortunes of experience. How wonderful. How wonderful they have this success. They have this new house. They have this new relationship, new family. They're happy. They're happy. They've got what they want. That's wonderful. We rejoice. So we widen this now to strangers, people we don't think a lot of, perhaps people in the media having great wealth, people win the lottery, people have success in business. People become famous and achieve what they want, their career. Their work is appreciated by others. How wonderful. They've got what they want. They're happy. So they're happy, we are happy. If there's any tendency to hold back, any envy or jealousy, just notice that. And just move past it. Soften the mind. Also, even enemies or people we find difficult when they have success, again we rejoice. How wonderful. They've got what they want. They have the karma. They've created the causes of success, good fortune, wealth. Particular people in our lives we find difficult but have had success, just staying with that feeling of rejoice. They are happy, we are happy. We're happy for their happiness. So now we'll move to those people who are creating the causes of success and happiness. People who, in the everyday world, are devoting their lives to helping others. Those who are working with the sick, the dying, particularly now. To benefit other beings, to save them, to heal them. They are sacrificing their own welfare. How wonderful. We rejoice. Think of the thousands of doctors, nurses, carers now working with the pandemic, other diseases, not just the pandemic, both professional and volunteers, giving their time, their energy, their lives to others. How wonderful. Stay with that thought. Appreciate it. Moving from the medical field to other fields of humanitarian help, those even who are just helping their neighbour, those who need help, vulnerable, giving them support, love, practical help, shopping, sacrificing themselves for the welfare of others. Those who are making offerings to help worthy causes, no matter how small or how great, sincerely from the heart, being kind to others, wishing to help others. How wonderful, we rejoice. Then those doing spiritual practices, those who have devoted their lives to spiritual progress, becoming ordained, taking vows, the Sangha community, great beings, bodhisattvas, Buddhas, our Guru. Think of examples. His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Karmapa. Think of all those beings who become bodhisattvas and Buddhas since Shakyamuni Buddha, following the teachings, doing retreats, taking vows, becoming teachers, giving initiations, teachings. How extraordinary. So, our own spiritual community, our Dharma friends, ordained, non-ordained, who are studying the Dharma, sincerely practicing the Dharma, doing meditation, attending centres, doing practice. Unbelievably good merit they're accumulating. Causes of happiness, the causes of success, causes of liberation. Delighting in their virtuous conduct, body, speech and mind. So in summary, we can see the virtues of rejoicing, having conviction now, from experience how it helps our mind, uplifts the mind, softens the mind, prepares the mind for further practice. Listening, contemplating, meditating. The happy mind is a good basis, fertile ground. So we can just dedicate now any positive imprints we've made on our minds from this practice, all the practice we've done in the past, we'll do in the future, to all our develop of a happy, passionate mind. Happy, compassionate mind can progress spiritually, and follow our Guru's examples, our teachers' examples. Bring peace in our minds and the minds of others. Peace in the world, dedicating to that. And just to conclude, I'll just read Lama Zopa's dedication, which he uses now for many practices. So, due to the merits of the 3 times collected by me, all the numberless Buddhas and the numberless sentient beings, may all wars, sickness, famine, torture, poverty, economic problems, and all dangers of earth, water, fire, wind be pacified immediately, and may perfect peace and happiness prevail in everyone's hearts and lives. May the Buddha Dharma last for a long time. May sentient being in the world meet the Buddha Dharma and achieve enlightenment as quickly as possible. Dedicated to that. And that brings us to conclusion of the session. So nice to have you there. Have a lovely rest of day, rest of week, and hope to see you next Friday at the same time, and stay well. Thanks. Bye.